Stronger together in the face of tragedy. Now details of the mass shooting in Virginia Beach become more clear.
He knew where our officers were, and he had every intention to inflict bodily harm on them.
As people come to grips with the chaos that unfolded,
and the officer said, "Don't stare at the body, look away." I said, "I can't do this."
Tonight, healing, hope, and heroism. We begin tonight with new details in the shooting at the Virginia Beach Municipal Center. Authorities today revealed the timeline, with officers arriving just 2 minutes after the first 911 call, then engaging the gunman in a long gunfight. At the same time, a celebration of the 12 victims' lives and stories of heroism. Family, friends, and complete strangers are bringing flowers, lighting candles, and standing in solidarity. All this as our community tries to make sense of a tragedy that has forever changed the lives of so many. Today we learned more about what happened inside Building 2 at the Municipal Center. Police shared a detailed timeline of events. 4 victims are still in the hospital tonight. We're told they are in critical condition. We also learned that municipal offices are closed tomorrow. City leaders confirmed the gunman, Dwayne Craddock, resigned Friday, the morning of the tragedy, via email. City Manager Dave Hansen had this to say about the gunman's work for the city.
He was in good standing within his department. There were no issues of discipline ongoing.
The focus for many people in Virginia Beach is on remembering and honoring the victims. We trust that through darkness comes light, and we are seeing that as we hear stories of bravery after the tragedy. Our Jacqueline Lee met with a woman who says Ryan Keith Cox saved her life right before the gunman killed him.
Picture a Friday afternoon at the office. You're laughing with your coworkers as your ice cream sundae is melting by your desk because you guys just celebrated 2 birthdays. That was Christy Dewar's Friday afternoon until it was quickly interrupted.
I happened to look at my computer. It was 4:06, and I was waiting for the first power hour message. "I love you, and I'm going to miss you so much."
And Dewar says she's thinking about the shooter's family tonight. She says they lost a loved one as well, and she hopes everyone has some compassion for them. Live in Virginia Beach, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.
Cox also was described as a teddy bear. We sat down with his ex-wife, Rochelle Ziegler. She was coming home from work when she saw the alert. Ziegler wasn't sure if Cox worked in Building 2. Then on Saturday morning, she started hearing from people asking if she was okay. That's when she knew something was wrong. Then she saw that Ryan Keith Cox was one of those killed.
I saw his picture and his name. And I thought it was like a mistake. So I actually recorded it, rewind it back to see what I had saw. And then a friend of mine had called and said the same thing. So it was a big shock for her to see that. But I just went through a lot of different emotions that day.
Ziegler says this made her lose her breath, and that is caused an instant shock. She is still in shock. We're hearing so many stories from the victims' friends and loved ones. They're heartbreaking. The memories of dear friendships will stick with them. Lorenzo Hall spoke to the friend of victim Richard Nettleton.
Yeah, David, Richard Nettleton served this community for 28 years. His friends say he was a great leader, and he will certainly be tough to replace. There's one email this Chesapeake man says he will never delete. Bob Shakatano was going back and forth on an email thread with Richard Nettleton Friday afternoon.
He was from New Hampshire. He was a big Red Sox fan, and I'm from New York, of course, and I'm a big Yankees fan. And we couldn't have a conversation without having a little bit of banter back and forth about the Red Sox and the Yankees, and that's something I think I'm going to miss about Rich.
And you know, Richard didn't just serve this community, but he also served this country and the Army, and we thank him for his service. I'm Lorenzo Hall, 13 News Now, Virginia Beach. David, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you. As the grieving process continues, first responders are not immune to the struggles. Chief Severa says his officers are getting the support they need to get through this tragedy.
Not only the physical wellness of an officer, but the mental, emotional wellness. It's kind of just becoming to the forefront of policing that after X number of years of working cases, not of this size, but of working cases every day, it begins to build up. to walk into something like this is absolutely horrific for the average person. The officers, again, they put that aside. They went and they engaged with the suspect as quick as they could. Basically, they saved a number of lives inside that building.
The chief said his team has not faced a tragedy like this before. He says it's an emotional challenge in the life of a police officer. The thoughts of so many people are on remembering the victims of the shooting, but what about the pain our community is feeling? Megan Puryear is at the Municipal Center tonight with help for people who simply need some support.
David, today I've seen family, I've seen friends, I've seen a lot of members of the community coming to honor these people who were killed. And in that group, I've seen a lot of people who came just to give emotional support.
We hear this all the time, but never have it been this close to families. Just know that the community of people are standing in the gap for you in prayer.
Rubenel says that if you come to the memorial site in the coming days, clinical psychologists and counselors will be here on hand to provide emotional support. Live in Virginia Beach, I'm Megan Puryear, 13 News Now.
And this breaking news out of Norfolk tonight, a 15-year-old boy killed on East Brambleton Avenue. Police are on the scene in the Young Terrace neighborhood. The call for help coming in around 10 o'clock tonight. There is no word on suspects or what led to this shooting. Our coverage of the mass shooting continues. If you're looking to help, you can donate to the United Way of Southampton Roads. Just text VA Beach, one word, to 41444, and we'll be right back. At a news conference this morning, city leaders gave us a clearer picture of how police responded to Friday's mass shooting. Police Chief Jim Severa taking us through it in great detail. Evan Watson has the minute-by-minute breakdown.
The first sign of trouble came at 4:08. That's when police dispatch received the first call of shots fired inside Building 2 on the government campus. Officers arrived to the scene within 2 minutes and began to enter the building. 5 minutes later, at 4:15, those officers found the gunman on the building's second floor. The two sides started shooting at each other. This was the start of what Chief Cervera calls a long gun battle. Outside, more officers arrived to help. Over the next 20 minutes, one officer was shot and wounded. The gunman went into an office and shot through the door and the wall. Officers then started planning on how to enter the room, and at some point, the shooting stopped. At 4:44, the officers broke through the door. The gunman was wounded. Officers took him and started providing first aid. He died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. That's 36 minutes between the first dispatch call and the moment the officers took the gunman into custody.
Another point Chief Severa made today, the first ambulances started taking victims to the hospital just 25 minutes after police officers made their first contact with that shooter. Let's break down some of the gun laws in Virginia. There is no permit, background check, or firearms registration required when buying a gun from a private individual. That is, provided the buyer and seller are both Virginia residents. Open carry is legal without a permit in this state. Concealed carry is legal with a license. You need to be at least 21 years old and have a firearms training course that's approved by the state. You cannot carry any other weapon besides a handgun under the concealed carry permit. It costs about $50 to get, and it lasts 5 years. We were told today that the Municipal Center complex will reopen on Tuesday, but not Building 2. It will stay closed indefinitely while the investigation continues. Schools and courts will be open tomorrow. The Virginia Beach School District is asking students and staff to wear blue tomorrow as a symbol of solidarity with those deeply affected by the mass shooting. Chesapeake, Suffolk, Norfolk, and other school leaders are also encouraging people to wear blue tomorrow. It's your chance to showcase your love for the community of Virginia Beach.
Things are a little bit quieter across the area, but we did have some hail reported out of northeastern North Carolina. Melissa sent us this photo from Elizabeth City of some small hail, but any hail can really cause some damage across parts of our area. But that was with some pretty decent storm chances, both or for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So definitely keep that 13 News Now app handy as we head into the second half of the week and into the first weekend of June.
We have more on the mass shooting in Virginia Beach. Next, we hear from more friends and loved ones. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Sal's Pizza is right across the street from the Municipal Center. The owner tells ABC News he knew most of the victims. Mustafa Escobar says some of those who were killed were sweet people who came to his restaurant all the time, and that he will miss seeing them come in.
Because Bob, he used to come at 1 o'clock. As soon 1 o'clock reach, like tomorrow, we're gonna, our mind, we're gonna see maybe Bob gonna come back, but we know sure he's not gonna come back. It's a lot of feeling, you know.
The restaurant is now offering free pizzas to first responders as a thank you for their hard work on Friday. Escobar says he still feels very safe in that area. As the community tries to heal, people are banding together, including a local band who lost one of their own. Christopher Rapp was a member of the Tidewater Pipes and Drums. He shared a love and passion for playing the bagpipes. Rapp worked as an engineer in public works and was fairly new to Virginia Beach. As soon as he moved here, he immediately started going to practices. Pipe Major Chris Percy says Rapp soon became the light of the group.
He was just always really happy to be with the band at practice or coming out and playing events, and it was really the camaraderie that certainly kept him going.
Pipe Major says his favorite memory of Rapp is his contagious smile. The band leader says the group has had an outpouring of support from other bands across the country. Quita Brown's life was also cut short in the shooting, but a close friend of hers wants us all to know to keep smiling. But she says that's what Quita, as her friends nicknamed her, would want. Candace Rausch got a text Friday night that flipped her world upside down when she learned her friend died in the massacre.
She didn't deserve to die like that. She didn't deserve to die like that. I'm sorry.
Ross says it didn't matter if Lakita knew someone for a second or for 20 years. She was your best friend, whether she knew you or not. Now is the time for unity, strength, and love. You can show your love for Virginia Beach online with the hashtag #LoveForVB. Our coverage continues next. Once again, that breaking news we're following tonight out of Norfolk, a 15-year-old boy shot and killed on East Brambleton Avenue. Police are still on the scene in the Young Terrace neighborhood. The call for help came in around 10 o'clock tonight. At this hour, there is no word on suspects or what led to the shooting. We have a crew right now headed to that scene. There are a number of ways you can help the victims and their families. The United Way of Southampton Roads created the Virginia Beach Tragedy Fund. To donate, text VA Beach, all one word, to 41444. You can also donate through the United Way of Southampton Roads, their website. You can find easy links to all of this information on 13newsnow.com. Pets can often provide us great comfort during difficult times. The Crisis Response Canines team is in Hampton Roads. 5 highly trained handlers and their dogs are in Virginia Beach. They'll try to provide comfort and support to the shooting victims and survivors and their families. The team travels the country to provide support during national tragedies. We're told they will be in town until Tuesday. And that is 13 News Now at 11. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, Daybreak starts at 4:30 tomorrow morning. Have a good night, everyone.